first hotel did not exactly have this sign in front of it, but it might as well have. It was a 1950s motel in an area of San Francisco called the Tenderloin. Has anybody ever ran through the Tenderloin? Well, I like sauntering through the Tenderloin. It's not a great neighborhood by some people's standards, but it's actually an interesting neighborhood. I had gone to junior high school and high school in the inner city in LA, in Long Beach, and so I sort of went back to my roots and was in a tough neighborhood. And I bought a 1950s motel, and speaking of signage, like that sign you just saw on the last slide, when you walked into the lobby of this hotel, it had the nightly rates posted. It was, I think, $49 a night, and right under that, in slightly smaller font, it said $20 per hour. So they had the hourly rates posted for everyone to see in the lobby. Now, I will say that hotels actually do have hourly rates occasionally. They usually don't post them in the lobby, though. This hotel, this motel, this 1950s motel where, the biggest corporate account was Vinny and his girls, was a place that actually, you're slow this morning. It was a place that really was ready to go out of business. Actually, it was in foreclosure and bankruptcy when I bought it. I was 26. I didn't have a whole lot of hotel experience. I'm not from a rich family. Raised some money to do it, and we bought it and created this rock and roll hotel. Because really, who else is going to stay in a motel in the ghetto but rock and rollers? And that first experience of creating a place called the Phoenix Hotel, which has now been open for 21 and a half years, what helped me see something about my industry. And the industries, we're in the hotel business, but we're in the boutique hotel business. The St. Julian is a boutique hotel. In fact, very similar to a hotel we have in San Francisco called the Hotel Vitale. Both hotels have a lot of similarities between them. But I learned very quickly that in our business, it isn't about you are what you eat, it's you are where you sleep. And I learned that quickly in the sense that if you really like the St. Julian, if this place is speaking to you on a certain level, the words you might use to describe this hotel, the adjectives you might use to describe this hotel, might be aspirational words for how you might see yourself. So when we started to, there we go. Oh. When we started to create these hotels, we imagined magazines as a organizing principle for how we would create the hotels. So first hotel here, the Phoenix Hotel, was based upon Rolling Stone magazine. The reason we use magazines is because magazines are niche-oriented and lifestyle-oriented, and they have a deep relationship with their core subscribers. I saw that What is Enlightenment is one of the sponsors of the conference, and I am this person who's like a what is Enlightenment reader in a big way. I love devouring that magazine. So I know when it's going to come to me, each time of the year it's coming to me. So Rolling Stone became the touchstone for how we created that first hotel, the Phoenix. And we came up with 5 words that defined Rolling Stone magazine, which were funky, irreverent, adventurous, cool, and young at heart. And everything we had to do in creating that first hotel, the Phoenix, from the staff we hired funky, irreverent staff, to the kind of decor we had in the guest rooms, to the kind of art we chose, to the kind of unique services and amenities we had in the hotel, they all had to come back to those 5 words. What we learned quickly was that the people who fell in love with the hotel were people who saw the hotel as a mirror for how they see themselves. The prior slide, couple slides ago, who's that guy up there? Who? Timothy Leary, Dr. Timothy Leary. Now, Dr. Timothy Leary, in his later life, in his 70s, before he passed away, was a regular at the Phoenix Hotel. Now, the Phoenix Hotel was basically these young rock and rollers, 25-year-old male tattooed musicians from LA. Dr. Timothy Leary did not fit the demographic of the Phoenix, but he fit the psychographic. Psychographic's what's going on the inside. Demographics what's going on the outside. Our color of our skin, our gender, our age. Well, the psychographic of the Phoenix was those 5 words that define Rolling Stone. So each time we created a hotel, we used that as our organizing principle. The lower left-hand corner of the Hotel Rex, which is in the Union Square area of San Francisco, was based upon New Yorker. So the 5 words were clever, literate, artistic, worldly, and sophisticated. So everything, whether we had poetry readings in the lobby, a jazz combo on Friday evenings, it had to come back to that kind of identity. Upper right-hand corner, the Hotel Avante was our first hotel in Silicon Valley. We now have 8 hotels in Silicon Valley. We're the largest hotelier in Silicon Valley. And the Hotel Avante was based upon Wired magazine. And the 5 words were techie, smart, artistic, iconoclastic, and avant-garde. And everything we had to do in creating that hotel had to come back to those 5 words. And lo and behold, there was a company that was just getting started in Mountain View, California, where this is located, that just got off the ground. And those 5 words just sort of describe that company. That company is Google. And Google's our biggest corporate account company-wide. But Google basically took over this hotel. It was an example of what I call identity refreshment. If you get it right and your customer sees the product as an extension of themselves, then you've created an identity refreshment. You've refreshed the identity of the customer because they feel by using your product, they're becoming more of that aspirational self. We did this for individuals, but with Google, we learned we could even do it with a company because Google basically literally took over the hotel. The bottom right-hand corner was our first opportunity to create a LOHAS hotel, and it's the Hotel Vitale in San Francisco. We knew there was a customer out there who's what I would call post-W, pre-Four Seasons. There's... How many of you fit that category? So it's somebody who sort of grew out of the narcissistic, young, nightlife kind of boutique hotel that W or Ian Schrager's hotels would sort of represented. But they weren't yet ready for the sort of old school, traditional Ritz-Carlton Four Seasons experience. They're the bourgeois bohemians, the Bobos of the world. And this hotel was Dwell magazine, a modern design magazine, meets real simple, and the 5 words were modern, urbane, fresh, natural, and nurturing. And everything we did came back to that. This hotel, very proud of it. It's been open 3 years, just like this hotel now. It's in St. Julian. Open 3 years. It's by far has the highest occupancy of any luxury hotel in San Francisco, higher than Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons, St. Regis, Mandarin, all those guys. So I learned a lot about people just by this process.